Hello, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I'm in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, and this is the Ask Andy show. I traveled for 16 years plus and went to 90 countries. I guess some people in the background. I'm in the Parque Central, or they call these two things in Central and South America, Parque Central or sometimes Plaza de Armas. There's not many places in the city where I can get a chair and sun and being kind of in the shade. The shade's helpful, guys. Okay, the question of the day right now is Stephen D. of Southern California, from Michigan, asked this question. Hello, my name is Steve and I'm 18 years old, and I'm from Michigan, still living with my parents. I'm moving to Southern California in a month with my girlfriend. I'm going to live with my brother's friend in an apartment with a few guys while I work and enjoy my life. Okay, good. He's positive attitude here. I don't have much money, but I really don't like living in Michigan, and as you say, you need to choose where you want to live. Okay, I wrote that in. I said that it's advice to people at age 20 if I was giving advice to myself 25 or 30 years ago, right? I visited Cali, Colombia in the spring and fell in love with the people and the climate. Which is a little extra information. I'm confident I'm making the right choice. My question is this. When you live by yourself without your family for the first time, what kind of issues did you have, and what advice would you give me as a young adult about to live on my own? P.S. Your videos are inspiring to me. I am planning to travel the world when I have enough money, and you certainly have a lot of great advice. Keep at it. Okay, this guy's inspiring because he has humility. Humility is the idea that you're teachable, okay? And people that are not teachable really live the world as they actually take on the position always as a teacher. So the important thing in life is to be teachable. So we have to listen first, then reply second. Okay, so I'm trying to listen real hard to this young man who wants to move away from his family in Michigan. And now, there's two different problems here. Like, one of the things that I've seen is that I came from a relatively good family. So I could always go back and say to myself, how would my parents want me to deal with this? Okay, and sometimes that's a better way to look at it than to make your own decision until you really sussed it out and figured out how to evaluate it and came up with maybe a little adaptation of your parents' things. And so, but you also have people that have came from very bad families, where the mother and father are very bad examples. Okay, and this is much more difficult. I'm sure I've seen a lot of this in my, when I'm recovering from my alcoholism 27 years ago, and even right now. A lot of the expats even here, you can just say, did your mother ever hug you? Okay, and because they're like peacocks walking around screaming for attention. But as an 18-year-old, the issues that you're going to confront, let me say this again so I make sure I'm listening to him, right? He wants to choose his climate, so Southern California. What kind of issues did you have, and what advice would you give me as a young adult about to live on my own? Now, the first time I did this is when I went to Indiana University. I moved from Orland, Indiana, a town of 400 people, to a place of, 400, like 60,000 college students. It was kind of heaven, guys. I went and lived there. But I moved one family to another family. Really, I moved from the family of my parents to the family of my dorm floor. And there was like 52 students on my floor. I lived on Crone Hall in McNutt Quad in Indiana University. And I was on, I suddenly had a whole group of people that were influencing me. Now, you're raised not to be judgmental. You're raised not to be opinionated, and so a lot of times we just go into these things and thinking everybody, I came off the farm and everybody's acceptable. And even though your instincts say, this guy's a dickhead, you still give them the benefit. And you need to do, you need to give the benefit of listening, because you need to have humility. On the other side, you don't need to pass judgment where you force them to live like you, and you don't have to get into a discussion on it. You just need to listen sometimes and think. But you know, there's a lot of there's a word called epiphany. An epiphany is when you have a sudden insight into how to live your life. Okay, it's an epiphany, but the opposite of an epiphany is where you just are. Epiphany is clarity. The lack of clarity is when you're just following anybody around and being part of the group. Part of the group is good because you need friends and, you know, like a new family. But you got to understand that some of these guys are going to give you some really bad advice. And just, you know, one good thing I could say, one of the issues I had is that, you know, there was so much temptation, you know, to hang around with this person that was like had a guitar. You talk to this person that's, you know, wanting to go exercise. You have this other person that's wanting to drink all the time or do drugs. And they're all going to be different, right? But again, you got to look at it from the snapshot of what your parents would want you to do, or the person that you want to be. I sometimes, you know, when you get out there, you're gonna find out that nobody cleans up after you. That's a big issue, right? and nobody's going to wash your clothes. That's one of the biggest things you learn about living alone, is how to wash your clothes. So before you leave, you might make sure you know how to wash your clothes and how to dry your clothes and to put the little paper in there to make the static disappear and all this stuff. And make sure that you have all your, you know, skills, like what you have your needs. Like some people wake up in the morning, drink a cup of coffee. Some people have 2 eggs and things, and it can be very expensive if you don't do these inside your apartment. So these are some of the issues that, you know, it's not really sometimes such a big issues as the small issues, like, you know, just, you know, how do you know, there's people that just don't wash their clothes. They wear the same clothes over and over and over because I think they're just confused, right? And they're too lazy, and they're procrastinating, and they're spoiled, okay? So the question is, are you spoiled? If you're not spoiled and you've had to do some chores around the house and manage your money, there's another issue. You're going to have to manage your money. The best way to manage your money is to not have much money in your billfold, okay? And so put everything in the bank and take out just enough to live for a week, and then, you know, only leave what money I don't need for the day. So even right now, I only carry about $10 in my pocket every day, because if I have $20, I'm liable to spend it. So it's my budget. So you're going to learn how to budget your money, and you're going to have to learn how to write checks, and you're going to have to pay your bills and do all these stuff. And you're going to find that a lot of your roommates, you know, won't have the money. And whatever you do, don't bail them out. Don't get into being the enabler that is the father figure. See, in any given relationship, you have a parent, adult, and a child. Sometimes I'm the adult, sometimes I'm the child. I like with girls that I'm dating, I like to be child. But when we're going to do something serious, I want to be adult. When they get out of control, I'm a parent child. Okay, and so a lot of times it's always funny. You got to figure out what position you hold in life. And are you an adult talking to another adult? Are you a parent talking down to a child? Are you a child talking up to a parent? And you got to figure out these relationships with all these people that you meet. Okay. It's good that you're choosing a climate you want. Now, California is full of some radical ideas where they're going to say, you know, there's going to be people with blue hair, there's going to be homosexuals, there's going to be transvestites, there's going to be, you know, people that are vegetarians, raw food. It's a lot like where I'm at right now, okay? You got a bunch of people with a lot of opinions. But you got to develop your core personality, who you want to be and who you dream of being. And then that dream of being is like you kind of dream of the person you want to be in the future, and you go for that dream. Okay, so you start saying, is this contributing to my dream, or is this detracting from my dream? I had a girlfriend one time in Argentina, and she was dancing just wild ass. I mean, she was like, you know, like she was at a stripper. She had clothes on and stuff. But I said, "Would you like your daughter to dance like that?" And she goes, "I don't have a daughter." But I said, "If you did, you're going to have a daughter one day. Do you want your daughter to dance like that?" She was my girlfriend. We were traveling around a couple months in Brazil. And, you know, it really made an impact on her, because when she looked at it from the point of view of being a mother with a child, she said, "Hey, no, I would never want my daughter to dance like that." So you got to kind of say to yourself, would I let my son to act like that? And so but your mother, you're going to be a father someday, probably. You know, everybody acts like I'm never going to get married, but 99.9% of the people get married, except for Andy Graham. Okay, but you're doing the right thing. But look for people you respect, and then always, when you're talking to new people, always ask yourself instinctually, do I trust this person, and do I respect this person? And judge you know, not judge them, but have an opinion on everybody you meet. Your instincts are good. So what you got to do is say, do I trust this person? Do I respect this person? And if you don't, then you got to understand their opinion should be put on a lower status. And then look for the people that you respect. And you're going to be able to find people out there that are like your mother and father. You can find people your same age or even younger. Sometimes I find people, you know, 15 years old that talk to me with such a good mental attitude. But remember, the brain's kind of like it's like a scales. What you put in on your brain is what it becomes. So if you put in a bunch of crap, you become a bunch of crap. If you put a bunch of good thoughts, you become a bunch of good thoughts. And you can't really stop a negative thought from entering. You have to just avoid them. Okay. Okay. I hope that's helpful, Stephen D. I'm going to call you Stephen D. from Michigan. Okay. Any other questions you have, you're welcome. I think growing up has got to be one of the most trying things for people, because until you develop your core personality that is you, and sometimes people don't realize until they have a vocation, like whether they're a carpenter or they're, you know, an executive or a consultant, and they become a master at something, they're always like searching, saying, I'm not that, I'm not that. Like I'll sit there and say I'm a travel writer, and the young people here would say, well, I never would want to do that. I said, that wasn't the question. I just said that's what I do. But they're always looking for their vocation. They're searching for what's going to define them for their life. Like you can have many things that define you, but look for that definable thing that makes you who you are. Okay, thank you.